Hi guys, this is Rain. Hi guys, it's Author Lorraine Johnson. I am going to be reading an excerpt out of Westbound, uh, my first book. I'm going to give it maybe about 5 minutes or so before I start. Um, TikTok should be feeding my live out to my audience. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow me. All right, while TikTok does its thing, I'm going to do something on my end right quick. Oh, that's how you pause it. Oh, okay. All right, so we're just going to time that. Oh, I'm showing up already. Okay. So my book Westbound is available on Amazon. It's on Kindle. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's actually free 99. And it's available as this beautiful paperback. Okay. So I'm gonna actually read probably two excerpts. Then I gotta get ready and go to work. I still have a day job, guys. Okay, let me mark my page here. All right. One of the women finally knocked the black veil and subsequently the wig off the other one. The wig had landed intact on the head of another very young boy, one of Montez's children by the looks and age. The women were now duking it out right there in the funeral home, rolling around on the ground. The funeral director tried to break it up, but now other family members had joined in. It was a full-blown free-for-all. "Don't move," said Spaulding to Raheem. He and Smith both jumped into the fray, hoping that as federal agents they could restore order. Because of the crowd, Raheem couldn't move in any direction if he wanted to, unless he went back into the chapel. It's now or never, he thought to himself. Here goes. The riot raged on in the vestibule and was quickly spilling out the front door and onto North Broad Street. Raheem re-entered the chapel, thinking there had to be some other means of egress from the building. He opened a retractable wall on his left, hoping he'd found a door. Instead, what he found was an open casket, occupied by an elderly woman dressed in a frilly pink dress, likely in preparation for the next service. Oh, shit. Sorry, someone's grandma. He quickly closed the wall. He had to figure this out quickly. How did they get bodies in and out of here? There had to be some type of loading area or another door somewhere. There was another movable wall towards the front of the chapel. He opened it. This time he found an empty space. And to his left, a contraption that looked like a conveyor belt that led outside, and a door next to it. But he wasn't quite fast enough in his realization. He heard male voices arguing outside the chapel door. The marshals noticed he was missing by now and returned to the chapel looking for him, but the funeral director was not about to let them tear up his establishment any further. The marshal searched the chapel to no avail until Smith came upon the retractable wall near the front. He opened it up with a flourish in the hopes of revealing Raheem's hiding space. He did not. "Isn't your guy one of Mr. Cherry's sons? Shouldn't he have on an orange jumpsuit if he's a prisoner?" asked the funeral director. "He hasn't seen his siblings if he's in jail. You probably missed him outside in the chaos." "Sorry to cramp your style, someone's grandma," thought Raheem, "but if all goes well, it'll only be a minute." Raheem was curled up behind her funeral bier, hoping the wall wouldn't be opened. "You have any more of these folding walls?" asked Spaulding. "The other one is being used. Mrs. Smiley's funeral is in an hour and her family is on their way. Meanwhile, I have to put my vestibule back together. You are not about to go digging around in her casket looking for your prisoner. Unless you have a search warrant, we're done here." The funeral director led the marshals back into the vestibule and locked the chapel door behind him. The agents headed outside to look for Raheem one more time. The Philadelphia Police Department had now arrived to break up the pandemonium, but soon enough they joined in the search for Raheem. He waited a few minutes just to make sure nobody re-entered the chapel. Then he headed for the exit at the front left corner. It led to a brightly lit gray cinder block garage with two hearses parked inside, one now containing his father's body. "Well, Pop, maybe you were useful after all," thought Raheem. Opening the large off-white garage door would definitely attract attention. There was a regular door that he thought should lead to an alley. He quickly peeled off his suit, unhooked the chains, and switched his shoes for the sneakers, being sure to grab the key out of the left sneaker. He rolled up the suit and shoes and tucked them under his arm. He then walked through the door, which put him onto one of Philly's notoriously tiny streets. He walked out into the sunshine and looked around. He could hear the brawl still going on out front. Ambulance and police sirens started to blare in the distance. About 2 blocks away, he shoved his old outfit and the chains into a restaurant's dumpster. He decided to stay on the side street until he'd walk a few blocks away from the funeral home. He could hide among the cars parked up on the curb if he had to. He eventually made his way back to Broad Street. He had no money, no ID, until he felt something in his pocket that felt like a wad of paper. Ma had put about $2,000 in the pocket of his hoodie, and about $300 of it was in ones. Now he wouldn't draw attention trying to make change at a bodega. And there was a cheap phone that he was guessing was a burner with some minutes on it. He figured that was Gina's doing. He briefly flipped it open to see if it was charged. It was at 100% for now, but he would need to buy a charger. Inside was a note in Gina's handwriting. "Once you're done with the key, stick to new places. Visit no old friends for a while." Don't have any of those, Raheem thought. He needed to hop on some mode of transit where he'd be as invisible as possible. Nothing made one feel quite as invisible as SEPTA. It was time to head underground. The Orange Line subway should work. He descended the red-painted stairs into the orange-tiled station. He didn't miss the constant smell of stale urine that seemed to plague the subway system. He paid the attendant, suddenly very grateful for the hat Ma provided. Once on the platform, he boarded the next train that arrived. Raheem had some things to take care of, or at least check on, but his first order of business was a shave and to unlock these bracelets. He wondered how long his freedom would last. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to move to the next excerpt. We have been live for about 8 minutes now. And then I really, really have to go get ready for work. Feel free to share this live, though. Appreciate you. So, some background about me in case you have never met me. My name is author Lorraine Johnson. So, I'm the author of the Hightower stories. So, this is the debut novel, and then there is a second one called The Show. It's available on Amazon, but we haven't publicized that so much yet. So the Hightowers are an influential family in West Philadelphia. They run Hightower Realty. And what they do is they acquire money and power through real estate. Generally, they do business in a way that benefits everyone, but sometimes people get in the way. Sometimes violence is the answer. So they try to keep the bloodshed down to a minimum. Doesn't always work out that way. So, read the book for more. I think you'll enjoy that, especially if you enjoy crime fiction. So that's a little bit about me. Also, both books are on Amazon. They both exist in Kindle Unlimited form, so you can pick that up for free and be sure to leave me a review on Amazon. I'd appreciate that so much. And I'm going to read you the second excerpt. All right. So, Carlos and Cecily came out of the Brighton together about mid-morning. He was likely walking her back to her hotel since it was only about 6 blocks away. He had on blue striped athletic gear, sneakers, and sunglasses. She had on the blue sweater and tight jeans from last night, and her hair was just a little disheveled. "Thank you for walking me back, Carl. That was sweet of you," said Cecily. "And last night, that was incredible." She sighed. Just the memory made her warm all over again. "It's the least I can do, and yeah, that was the most spectacular encounter I've ever had. I'm going to need your phone number." He opened his phone to the number pad screen and handed it to her. "Just in case you find yourself in Atlantic City again, I'm only an hour away." She giggled and put her number in. "You gonna rename me Sneaky Link?" she asked, handing his phone back. "Hopefully we won't need to sneak," he said, pouring on the charm. She flashed that incredible smile again. Her own phone chimed. She glanced down at it. "Looks like the rest of the girls are here. Thanks for last night," she said, giving him a wet kiss on the lips. She headed back into her hotel. Was that little twist in her hips for him? He smiled as he watched her walk away. Speaking of nice bodies, he still needed to get in some time at the hotel's gym. A light jog back to his hotel would be a nice start to his workout. The only thing he hated about working out was that athletic wear had no good place to hide a weapon. He shouldn't need one for the gym anyway. But he still wasn't ready to wear headphones again until Raheem Cherry was safely back in jail. He knew this hotel pretty well, so he knew the gym was on the 10th floor. As soon as he got off the elevator and approached the gym entrance, he noticed it was completely dark. There was a sign apologizing for the renovations, and several members of a construction crew were milling about. "Crap, guess I'm going for a run then," thought Carlos. He turned around and headed back to the elevators, but his path was blocked by the construction crew. "Excuse me, I just need to get back to the elevator." "I don't think so, Carlos Castro," said one of them. He looked around and realized he was surrounded. The renovation sign was real, but this wasn't a real construction crew at all. Fucking Raheem. He got me good, thought Carlos. He then felt something heavy crash into the back of his skull. The next thing he knew was darkness. The back of Carlos's head was throbbing, and he thought his face was bleeding. He had initially been knocked out, but now he was conscious. He must have fallen when they knocked him out. Since they threw the pillowcase over his head, they didn't know that he was now awake. He decided it would be safer to pretend. He thought he counted 6 goons. Whatever vehicle they had him in, it came to a stop. "Come on, Castro," someone said, shaking him and pulling him to his feet. It sounded like they were outside on a sidewalk. He heard a door open. They hauled him inside a building and sat him down on what felt like a raggedy metal stool. The pillowcase was pulled off. They were back in the empty storefront at 52nd and Wyalusing Avenue in West Philadelphia. He was face to face with a beardless Raheem Cherry. All right. So that is it for today, guys. So I hope you enjoy your day. For those of you just joining, that was an excerpt from Westbound: A Hightower Story. Go get it. By me. You see my little picture on the back there. And you guys have a fabulous day.